Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. In the place to be, I'm your host, Adam Mill. To right, left of me in the middle is you have Sick Cuz the Governor, you have Quan Bizzle, and you have Jumbo One. Um, Patriarch will be in the subscription. It's $4. That split amongst us. It helps out the YouTube channel and the movement. Please leave a like, subscribe, and share. Do not be afraid to share. And click on that like button. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the most easiest thing to do. Click on there. Like if you love it. Like if you hate us. I love to hate y'all. Just click on that like. You know what I'm saying? So, um, Mount Rushmore or supergroup, right?
Yeah.
We got drift off with the 80s talk or whatever, which I enjoyed that because I always love natural conversation, man. That breeds chemistry and you get to know people a little more. We have KRS-One, Cool G Rap, Rock Kim, and you have who else? I'm leaving out somebody.
Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy. Boom. Um, it will work if the chemistry. Who would y'all want to see produce that album? Let's start with that. Who would be a great producer for that album? And what would the album be based upon? Would it be a concept album, or would it just be what what's the direction of the album? And who would be the best producers to grace that album?
The state of hip hop, probably.
No, the super group.
Oh no, I mean like as a concept, probably talking. And that's probably the only lane I probably see them going. Like one of the lanes, like the state of hip hop, how hip hop has been, them coming back, they return. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
um, I think that it's cool, but I think that'd be to me, that's like a washed approach.
mm-hmm.
I hate when rappers do that. Like rappers that you didn't hear from in a while, or they feel that their lane is closing and their careers, at the end, and they just make a album. I'm back, y'all. I'm back and I'm back and I'm back, y'all. I never left, y'all, and can't take my crown, y'all. It's like you on that one leg trying to convince the world that you still have it. I don't like those type of albums nor those songs. You know what I'm saying? I think your work and creativity should speak for itself. I think you do yourself a disjustice when you're making songs and albums that you're not washed up and you still got it. I think you do yourself a disjustice.
Are most of them for the East Coast?
All of them for the East Coast.
So I think you should probably have an East Coast type of producer, because I was gonna say Mustard, but I don't know. Only because his recent success with Kendrick. I know Kendrick made the album because his success. I was just talking about like marketing wise. But if they're like a East Coast, bass type MC, I feel like it will only make sense to have some type of some East Coast producer, right? I don't know too many East Coast producers. That's on me, but the ones I know like that are not East Coast, are non-East Coast but are popular, like Metro Booming, Mustard, that guy that did Nas album, like King's Disease.
Hit Boy.
Yeah, him. So I think like some type of hit maker type producers I feel like would be good. But I'm pretty sure there's some East Coast producers that are also doing their thing. But I feel like if you really want the younger and older crowd, just like a mutual crowd, regardless, to listen to it, especially these days, I feel like you gotta kind of bite the bullet and choose one of those producers. You know what I mean?
I beg to differ real quick, fellas, before I let y'all cook. I don't think they need anybody new. They already validated. They already had their own core audience.
That's how you shoot yourself in the foot, though.
They had their own core audience. They don't have nothing to prove to anyone or anybody at this point.
Okay.
They just need to have a solid project. Is it going to be a concept project or not? I don't think it has given any justice of being a concept project because of chemistry and just who they are. We just want dope bars, dope production. The trick again, and I'm gonna ask you guys, because y'all producers, who produces this album?
It's a waste of time then.
All right. Before I get to the producers, I just want to talk about what it is real quick, right? So you got 4 master MCs that created 4 subgenres in hip hop. KRS-One, conscious rap. Big Daddy Kane, punchline rap, Rakim, poetic lyricism, and Coogee rap, street rap. Now, for them to be able to all come together and create something cohesive, I would like to see them do that, because with who they are, like their egos, if they're able to put their egos aside and really come together and work together, it might work. But I'm really skeptical of, like, if they're able to do that because of who they are. All of them are huge and they're masters in their own right. Now, when it comes to who should produce it, I agree. I agree that they should have a younger producer, but I think they need a younger producer that does boom bap, not turn up music. They need to do boom bap. They need somebody like Theory Has It. If you don't know who he is, he did beats for like Griselda, and he's dope. He's dope. He don't just do Griselda style production. If you go on Instagram and you find him, you'll hear his beats, and his beats is crazy.
Yeah,
And
send me his link.
and the other guy, the one who stole Timberland, stole his beat, K Beats, he's really good. They need people like that. They need fresh producers to actually make it pop off.
No Knife Wonder?
I mean, I'm looking at it like this, right? Just the fact that you have these four masters coming together, it's like four different minds. Like, they're going to come with four different what's the word I'm looking for? Perspectives. They're going to come with four different perspectives. I don't think you need a bunch of different producers on a project like that. You need one, maybe two tops, so it'll make everything consistent. If you got four MCs with a bunch of different producers, that project is going to be all over the place. At least for like what their canvas is, it has to be consistent. That's why I think they should use one producer, and they need a fresh producer, somebody who got like some serious heat. I like Ninth Wonder. He got some, I like Ninth Wonder. I like DJ Premier.
Pete Rock.
Who else? Pete Rock. But come on, they gotta give the new guys a chance, yo. And they can
Yeah,
do.
but I don't think they can pull it off though. I
think they could. I think they could. KRS-One used new producers on his more recent projects, and his new stuff is fire. He don't stick to classic producers. He gives the new guys a chance. That's why he's able to compete.
I can see your point. I can see your point, especially with Hit Boy. I like Hit Boy. I think Hit Boy. Because look what Hit Boy did for Nas. And that whole King's Disease whole run, the whole Magic run was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But again, the chemistry and what would the album be about? That's the biggest hurdle. Yeah. The bars being spit, like you said, you had 3-4 different schools of thought. How would that mesh? How would that, be one whole unison?
I think the best way for them to do it is if they played each other's songs. They get together with their one maybe two producers. They select the beats as a group, and each of them select which song. Like, let's say Rakim takes the lead on beat number 3. It's on Rakim to come up with the concept for beat number 3. And then the other 3 guys come along and they add to Rakim's concept. And they just create the song like that. And that's what I mean by playing each other's songs. And each of them do the same thing for each other. Like, I got this song, I'm going to need y'all to finish it. Or Rakim write the whole song, and the other guys would put their input on it, and then KRS-One come with a song, and they put their input on it, and I think it'll make things more cohesive. Like it makes it a group effort.
Gov, do you think they should take the RZA method? Meaning, like, should they bring some? Okay, we're not talking about. We're not saying these guys have anything to do with the production, but shouldn't they bring in like some old producers to give them a direction where the album should go? Like how RZA did with Wu-Tang. You know, Wu-Tang has so many different styles, right? But when you look at the Forever album, I mean Wu-Tang Forever, you see how that chemistry of all them different styles and frame of thoughts came together as one. Should that happen on this project?
Uh,
Because
so you talking about like the way Forever to me didn't have the same cohesion like the other ones. You know what I mean?
you don't
Uh,
think so?
not to me, not the same, not the same. Because you know, like RZA, he got his own way, but and that's what made it work so well. Like, say you think about Wu-Tang, it's like that super group without even talking about putting together the super group. Because I think all of them would have stood alone well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right. But the way that that's why when they all kind of going under that umbrella in a way, like that's this one sound, they was able to put they 5 different or however many, like say with this case 4, they'll be able to put they'll be able to put their stamp in their own way into that thing. That kind of makes it like that super soup in a way, like a gumbo. You know what I mean? When you get like that flavor really going through there like that, that's what.
Yep.
But sometimes when you got like the competing producers, sometimes not to say it's a bad thing, but at the same time, sometimes you can wreck the fact that all right, it was looking like a pizza 1 minute, but then it turned into a steak. Now, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? It turns into that.
Right.
It's all great, but sometimes it doesn't all mesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless if you got a guy, unless if there's somebody that's on the Dre level that's able to put all of that together, so they able to.
Why haven't nobody mentioned Dr. Dre?
Cause see, he's like the executive producer. You know what I mean? Like he ain't like say people think that Dre's the one that make the beats, right? But he don't make all the beats. He might make 1 or 2, but he's working with everybody. He putting it all together in such a way that it makes one cohesive unit. If you got somebody that has that ability to do that, that's what they should work with. But you know what I mean, to kind of make that work. But I think that if anything, they probably should follow the way the Migos did it. Now, back when it was the 3 of them, they would say say you get 30 beats total, right? 10 would go to each. They was responsible for coming up with the main hook and they verse for it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. That's kind of what I was trying to explain. Yeah.
so I think that would be the best approach for the 4 of them, so that way they can get the best of each guy out there. That way they can come like, so if Rakim is coming on the thing that he's rocking his straight through, and somebody gonna collaborate, they probably be able to make it work because he's actually able to get into his full zone, like the same way Big Daddy Kane, KRS, and Cool G Rap be able to do the same thing, and they probably be able to make some great collabs.
So should they? Okay, using that technique, right? Should they? The person that's the exclusive producer, should he fit the people on certain songs, or should they want to say, "Look, I think I fit better on this song with if Karis wasn't on the song, Rakim say, let me jump on this one and let's have an out, I'm jumping the gun. Because I want to ask you guys, should they have any outside features? Would that even help the album? But just say
I don't think they should have outside features like that. Maybe 2 tops. Cause it's 4 guys, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it'll be dope for like maybe 1 or 2 songs to have a special guest. But yeah, you don't want an album like that to be full of a whole bunch of different people. It would just confuse things.
To a big all
Like Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang, when they had a feature, it would be like Redman would jump on something every once in a while. You know, they kept their features at a minimum, and it worked for them.
Because it was enough of them. They didn't need all like new voices. You know, see, that's the thing about having a feature. Like if you're one artist, the thing is, with it being the only artist on the album, they're going to get fatigued when it comes to your voice the whole time. You know what I mean? Unless if you just come up with material that's just knocking them out every single song. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're gonna need to have that kind of, you need that relief. It's like comic relief when you think about TV shows. Sometimes a drama can be so serious. You need to have that a character to come in there and do something silly just to kind of get your mind off of that so they can go ahead and hit you with the plot twist.
Yeah.
100%.
So do y'all look at this? Would it be better a concept album, or should they just be rapping, rippity rapping, and having like each song should be a freestyle battle, if you will, like a posse track? Would it be better? Would a concept album hurt this project, or should they just be proving out, trying to shine each other on every track?
Yeah,
Pleasure.
I think primarily a freestyle type album, no concept album with like if it's 10 songs, they'll probably have maybe 3 or 4 with topics. But the majority of it just like bars or whatever. That's what I would like to hear.
I think it should be a vibe too. I feel like have some R&B type elements into it, have a different vibe, because when you think about it, right? A lot of you gotta understand the type of time you're in the game, right? A lot of people love listening to vibe hip hop, right? So you gotta have some type of vibe into it, right? Of course, you can go back and forth with the bars and everything. I mean, that's cool, right? But I feel like, mixing, I think with the clips that I'm pretty sure they were sitting on that future for a long time, right? But they took the opportunity. Okay, Kendrick, he's doing his thing now. Let's put Kendrick on the album, right? People listening to They Not Like Us, right? People are listening to the whole GNX album. I've literally, every time I go to work, you see the nurses and CNAs. Sometimes it gets annoying, right? They play the They Not Like Us, and they play the SZA
Kendrick just
Kendrick
opened his
song.
mouth.
Yeah, it gets annoying. It's like everyone jumping on the bandwagon, right? But you need that opportunity. You need an opportunity to go in, right? While everybody's listening to that clips, say, wait, let's pick Kendrick to the point where they left their own label just to pick Kendrick on that album, right? So I feel like, we're talking about traditional classic, masters of the game, right? I'm pretty sure they're not concerned with trying to get the highest views and numbers out there, right? Especially like here S1, he's expressed that he's not concerned with all that flattery, right? That the whole celebrity world and Hollywood brings, right? But I feel like if they care about the game and they're trying to make an impact with the game and help the generations right now and after, right? And they're trying to leave their mark, I feel like they should do and go out with a bang, right? I feel like this album should be different, right? Because he already proved themselves with their past projects, but I feel like it should have some type of vibe to it. I feel like you don't even just need to pick Kendrick, but someone of relevance that kind of relates to what they're doing, right? That's now and bring some new artists up there too, right? Bring some new voices up there, right? This opportunity has a lot of this album has a lot of opportunity.
But that'd
right?
be contradiction to what we just said, because like Gemma once said, that don't need to be a whole bunch of features on there.
Yeah.
My thing is, can they pull off an R&B track? These guys are now in their 50s or whatever. We do want to hear what's going on in their life.
Big Daddy Kane used to do R&B tracks.
Yeah, and Rakim did one too off the House Party 2 soundtrack. I'm serious. I want to know what's on your mind. Nah, y'all know.
Okay.
But this is what we left out real quick, fellas. Do you want to hear what's going on in their life now? Their experiences?
Yeah.
The state of hip hop, what they think about it, like you said, Quan. The state of affairs in the world. Can they make a successful R&B track? Can they make a successful street track with Cool G Rap featuring KRS-One? Remember, Love's Gonna Get You, right? That was right, hood, you know what I'm saying? That was right street. Can they pull off different topics? I think if they can pull off different topics and, like Quan Bizzle say, make music, because I'm learning now, music is a feeling. It's not just bars and rap. It's a feeling, it's an emotion. Your voice, the instrumentals, all these are instruments. It's a feeling. You want to make feeling music. You don't want to make just bars. It's to the point where if you're known just to be a boom bap or just a bar spitter or wordsmith, okay, we know you can do that. But how else can you draw us in?
I don't think they should go too far out of their core audiences. I think they should make music for their core audience. I don't think they should try to get new people or young people. They're gonna mess up if they try to do that. Just make the best album that they could for their core audiences. That's it. They older guys, they don't need to do commercialized stuff. They don't need to do R&B tracks. We respect them. Our generation respect them for who they are. They drop an album together, I'm gonna listen to it. You know what I mean? And probably most everybody in our generation is going to who like hip hop is going to listen to it. That's who they should concentrate on. That's who they should make the music for.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, see,
But is it gonna fall on deaf ears though? That's the thing. You got because a lot of artists that come out.
Yeah, get a camera.
Oh, a lot of artists that come out, right? And I see what you're saying, but a lot of artists from that time or in the 90s that come out with that big comeback, right? There's a lot of expectations, even from their core fan base. There's a lot of expectations. There's a lot of like, what if this what if this album doesn't deliver, right? Like I expect it to. What if that album doesn't bring that same nostalgia, that same feeling, right?
Hey,
But what if it fails on deaf ears? That could be bad for their
that's going
legacy.
to happen. It's not going to bring nostalgia. It's not supposed to. It's an updated version of who they are now. And if the people who supported them back then don't support them now, then it's simply not for them. But they should concentrate on their core audiences, the people who grew up with them, the people that's growing older with them. Make the music for them. Just make sure it's good. You know, all I gotta do is be good. If it's good, if it's a fire album, they can make a fire. I'm pretty sure they got some heat. If they can make some heat, that's all they need to do. And we will support it. As long if it's good, we'll support it.
That'd be dope if he get album of the year over the Clips and everybody else, man. I don't think nobody be upset, but that'd be so dope. You feel me?
Yeah, it would be. That would be a stretch though. I'd be surprised if they actually do something like that. But yeah, if they find the right producer to work with and they able to make some honest to God, really good songs, yeah, they should be straight. And if they satisfy their core audience, who's to say that new people won't get on board for their you know what I mean? Who's to say that? But you're supposed to concentrate and create for your core audience. When you try to go outside of that, that's where people start messing up.
All right, fellas, before I go, I need your honesty. Who makes the best album out the super group? I have, and that's a fantasy pick. I have Drake, Kendrick, Cole, and number 4, who would that be? Wale. Against the super team that we're talking about now.
Wale, no, it can't be Wale.
I can't think of nobody else, man. I want to get approached by that man. He right next door
over Wale. Tyler the Creator over Wale. Shoot, who else? Who else?
Who would you put there, girl?
Where
In that super group?
Well, like the current one,
you got Drake, Cole, Kendrick, and that 4th one I said Wale. That's what I picked.
No, I think what's the name higher than him? Like Jammer One just said.
Big Sean. Big Sean. That would be my 4th pick.
Oh no.
I'm not picking him.
I think what's his name got more love than him. I think Tyler the Creator got more love than Big Sean, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. But
okay, but that's in your own mind, right? That 4th spot. Who makes the better album?
Who
versus the super group we've been talking about and this current super group, hypothetical. Who makes the best album?
Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar makes the best album out of all of those groups.
No. If they was the form a super group, all of them was.
Oh, they all together?
Me personally, I'm picking the newer guys.
Right now, they probably would because they in the game like say the new guys right now, they in their prime. You know what I mean? These guys they not in there. But then again, I don't know. I hate to say they not in their prime, but they in the prime as far as in the spotlight, in the public eyes prime. As far as having the public ear, the sensibilities of what the public listening to right now, the
Yeah,
current guys would win. You know what I mean?
yeah,
No, meaning they got more of a stretch of opportunity. They have more of a stretch of an arsenal to work with, as far as production beats, topics, and everything else, right?
Like I'm saying, like Rakim, KRS, and all of them, they would have the same access because they would have access to the same, like when it came to, especially with their name recognition and the money that they already have. You know what I mean? They would have access, but the problem is going to be they not as plugged into the current scene, like the current is. So they going it's like a bit of a catch up that they're going to play. Similar like watching sports. You see like a coach or retire, right? And he'll come back to the game like a couple years later, talking about I'm coming with a new team. He got to catch up with the league because they've been practicing and they've already made schemes that out schemed his scheme from 5 years ago. You see what I mean? So now
Yeah.
he got to go back through and relearn the league because now these new coaches they've already advanced. So he got to catch up to the advancements they made because he wasn't catching up to that because he was off for the last 5. So
Okay,
yeah.
just say they don't play catch up. What I mean is, just say, like we've been saying earlier, they make a album catered to their core audience,
Yeah.
right? And Drake and them make a album to how they want to make their album.
Yeah.
I'm going with Drake and them for a lot of reasons. A, because they live in, like you said again, Gov, they live in a current time where music and instruments and experimentations are more advanced. I don't think the older guys would want to, they'd be in uncharted waters. It's more uncomfortable for them to do that. You know what I'm saying? Look at look at how Drake and Kendrick alone, their two minds put together, forming a song. I think their songs would be more conceptual. I think if they try to make more of a cater to the boom bap and classical hip hop, I think they would it'll ruin them. But if they somehow can glue that chemistry together with J. Cole, I think you're looking at one of the best albums of all time. And if you're looking at skill wise, they can match them skill for skill. Come on now.
Yeah, I agree.
They
would definitely make the better album, I think, because they so much more advanced. It's like old technology versus new technology.
Right.
And that should be an argument for another time too, man. Like, who would be the best? Who has the best era in hip hop, as far as talent, songs, and stuff like that? We should do that next week. I think that'd be very, very dope. Because I think we probably put the point without even saying it. Yeah,
the best era.
Yeah, I think we actually proved our point without even saying it, bro. We came without answers without even saying it. Real talk.
Yeah, because if we're going to talk about the best era, different things come with different eras.
No.
So,
we're not talking about the cookie cutters. We're talking about the actual spitters, the actual guys that's out there making real dope projects. I'm not talking about. Yeah, I'm not talking about. If I want to do, let's say if I use Nelly era, I'm not going to use Nelly or the guys with the long t-shirt snapping, going back and forth. First thing I'm looking at is DMX or Dipset. In my opinion, I think that era was most cookie cutter, and that was the worst era to me.
Me too. I agree. That 2000s era.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Some good songs came out of there, but it was terrible.
That was the beginning of the mold when they were saying, all right, this is the mold of rappers we're gonna start putting out. That was like when they started doing it.
Right.
I think Kanye West saved that era. If it wasn't for Kanye West, we wouldn't have Kendrick, we wouldn't have Cole, we wouldn't have Drake, we wouldn't have this type of sound and different experimental sounds and albums. We wouldn't have a Tyler the Creator if it weren't for Kanye West. Crazy as he may be, crazy as a bat, but he actually saved that beginning 2000s era. If it was no Kanye West, hip hop would be in trouble right now.
True. And that also leads to another name because the guy that introduced Kanye is Q-Tip. to the game. So that's the other guy. If they was going to get someone they want to go old school with a producer, Q-Tip is the guy I would recommend, or somebody they should
But
work
what
with.
you mean what the you talking about the super
Old
team?
school super group. I'm talking about the old
I
school.
think that'll harm him. I
Oh
think,
yeah.
yeah, I think that'll harm him. I really do. I really do. Because I don't see now. I'm gonna sound hypocritical. I'm gonna tell y'all before. I know what y'all about to say. I don't see Cool G Rap rhyming over Q-Tip beat. But then y'all say, oh man, he made beats for Nas and Mobb Deep. So get out of here with that, right?
True.
But I don't know, man. I don't know if Q-Tip had the stamina to do a whole project with those guys, man.
Yeah,
I don't
wide
think he has
range.
the stamina. I don't think he has the
Hmm.
stamina. Well, let's go wrap this up, fellas. Getting dark.
Yes,
I
sir.
know y'all have family to go to. It was a pleasure. We're gonna try to get Mickey Fax on here soon. Hopefully, I was hoping that you'll be on this episode, Gov. I'll stay tuned for that. And I'm working on Tone Trump too from Philadelphia. I reached out to him. He reached back. We'll see what he's going to do as far as that though. But yes, leave, like, subscribe. Patreon will be in the subscription. Patreon's $4. When you pay for that, you donate to this lovely movement and channel. We split the proceeds. We keep going. Appreciate you guys every week putting, sacrifice your time and effort away from your family and loved ones and things y'all love to do, to come together as this super team and make this podcast happen. So, cuz, where can they find you?
Catch me on Instagram at Governor's Mansion.
Jumbo One, where can they find you?
Instagram, Jammer1, JAMMA_WUN, or YouTube, Jammer1, same spelling.
And
Without
Quan, my bad. And Quan Bizzle, where can they find you?
Nostalgia Music on all platforms.
And you can catch guests. I'm your host, Adam Mill. You can catch guests outside on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. I know that sounds crazy saying Facebook. You can catch it on all platforms, man. All right, brothers. Y'all have a peaceful weekend, man. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe and stay dangerous. Peace.
All right.
Peace.
Share.